I think for any entrepreneur, what they love to do the most generally is the last thing to go as far as processes go.
So say you were able to offboard some of that and you got some time back in your day. What's the first thing you're going to invest in?
Oh man, this is hard questions here. How honest do you want me to be?
I want you to be so honest.
Okay, if I could release all guilt and shame from this decision, I would play video games. I'd play more video games.
I love that.
I love games. I love gaming. It's the least productive, lowest priority thing. It's like sleeping than video games maybe, but I would love to have time. I don't have any time to do that, and I'm a huge gamer at heart.
I think that's where you know you've kind of made it in your business.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I've done all the things. I just want some personal time.
And I try to play maybe once a month, and usually like my computer's not updated. I got to download something, and then like I have an hour, and then I waste it all just trying to like turn on the game, and then I go to bed. So it's a sad hobby.
This episode of Inside the Process is powered by Trainual, the one app that organizes who does what and how. Check it out at trainual.com.
Well, hey, Russ. Welcome to Inside the Process backstage at Playbook 2024. It's so awesome to have you here. We're super stoked about it. So tell me about yourself and a little bit about your business.
Well, my name is Russ Perry. I'm the CEO and founder of Design Pickle, and we are the world's largest subscription-based graphic design company. So essentially, we help match small businesses with their own graphic design team to help them with whatever content they need, whether it's visual, motion graphics, online, offline. We provide an entire experience to do that, from finding the creative, working with them, collaboration, feedback, approval, and managing the files themselves.
That's awesome. You mentioned creating the experience, and I got to snag 2 of the actual Design Pickle labeled pickleball kits last night for my boys, and so they're going to be stoked about that when I take that home.
I mean, we definitely toe the line of being confused with a pickleball company sometimes. So, we have to always be very clear that we're actually a graphic design company, not a pickleball company.
Well, I love it. So I have a question for you. What process was the hardest to let go of in your business, and what did you learn from letting that go?
I mean, our business is crazy complicated because we actually have 2 kinds of businesses in one. We have a software company because we have an entire platform that we've created to manage the creative process. And then we have a people business. So we manage, almost 700 contractors that work for our clients. And I always, kind of laugh at the insanity that I created for myself, because it's like all the problems of both of those things. I think for me personally, one of the processes that maybe I'm even still struggling to let go of is the growth, the marketing side of everything. It's my background in DNA. I came from a creative agency. I always did it. But I've learned that I am no longer the client. And so my ideas and the things that I want to do may not be as relevant for, who we are serving today. Maybe 10 years ago it was. And I think that for me, because marketing is always changing, it's one of the hardest processes to keep up to date as well, because you're always experimenting and doing new things and trying new stuff. So I wouldn't say I'm there yet, to be honest. It's probably like my big project this year is to really figure out like how we can truly, offboard that to me. But it's also super fun. So, I think for any entrepreneur, what they love to do the most generally is the last thing to go as far as processes go.
So say you were able to offboard some of that and you got some time back in your day. What's the first thing you're going to invest in?
Oh man, this is hard questions here. How honest do you want me to be?
I want you to be so honest.
Okay, if I could release all guilt and shame from this decision, I would play video games. I'd play more video games.
I love that.
I love games. I love gaming. It's the least productive, lowest priority thing. It's like sleeping than video games maybe. But I would love to have time. I don't have any time to do that. And I'm a huge gamer at heart.
I think that's where you know you've kind of made it in your business.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I've done all the things. I just want some personal time.
Yeah. And I try to play maybe once a month, and usually like my computer's not updated. I got to download something, and then like I have an hour, and then I waste it all just trying to like turn on the game, and then I go to bed. So it's a sad hobby.
So if you did offload some of that, there's obviously some training and some onboarding and processes and things like that are involved. Do you have maybe a memorable story that you can share? Like something you laugh about now, but at the time it was a total fail for your team when it came to offboarding some of that stuff.
So I always tell the story about it's related to delegation and process and also hiring. One of my first quote unquote big hires was a salesperson. And I was doing all the sales and I was like, I need to have someone to do this. And so I recruited actually a friend that I knew from college who was a very successful salesman, like super excited, trusted him, and he just crashed and burned. And it was actually a really hard thing because he had left the job and he was coming here and we had this big vision of what we were going to do and it just totally failed. And what I learned in that moment, and I've carried with me for many years, is he came into a situation with no process or system. And I sort of just expected him to figure it out for me. And that can work at a certain level. I think with someone who's very experienced and is bringing that in, or, maybe you're hiring a specific consultant to kind of solve these problems for you. But when you're just building your team and hiring people, I think it's super important as a leader that you have done it and you know what it is and it's documented and you know what that process is before you ask someone to do that for you. And so that sales role, unfortunately, was like a huge mistake because I didn't even really know how we were getting sales. I would do this, and we would get signups or we wouldn't. And so I made that a really important part of my career at that point to like learn advertising, document the sales process, make sure that we knew exactly what the experience is going to be. And once I had done that and that was all clear, that's when I was able to successfully build, the sales organization.
Are you guys still friends now?
Like Facebook friends, like we'll see each other online now and again. Unfortunately, we ended on good terms. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but it wasn't any bad blood inside of that.
That's good.
Yeah.
So knowing what you know now and kind of learning from that lesson, if you could clone yourself today, what's the first thing that you're going to get rid of and say, okay, this is you. You've got to do this now.
Probably like working out and eating healthy. I'd have my clone version do that and I'll just go tour restaurants and play video games.
Fair. But to keep your business afloat.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I think right now what's taking up most of my time is I just need more space, for the vision work and getting that out of my head and getting that into ways that I can give that to my team. Even at our size and our scale, there's still so much of working like in the business and day to day. And even as CEO, like I still have a lot of, I got a voice memo from one of my team members today kind of blasting me because I canceled a meeting yesterday because of the Trainual event. And he's like, I need you to take this meeting seriously. Like you need to be on this meeting. I was like, okay, I'm going to get it scheduled, so I don't have enough time as it is. But I think if I could clone myself to take on the day-to-day stuff that I still have on my plate, I'd be spending a lot of my time thinking 1 year, 2 year, 3 years out of where we're going and what we're doing and how to get that into fluffy rainbow language and put that into like, here's a timeline, here's the plan, here's what we're working towards.
I assume you're talking about something that you can deliver to your team.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Because I think a lot of leaders they have no shortage of vision. They have no shortage of inspirational ways they want to change the world.
Yeah, we've got Jonathan. We know.
Exactly. Yeah. My friends Chris and Jonathan are examples of that. But that's not practical for many people. And I think what many leaders, myself included, struggle is how do you get vision into more of an action plan and clarity that then people can take parts of that vision and bring it to life.
Do you have a favorite way that you do that or something that works really well for you?
Oh yeah, I'm a whiteboard and Post-it kind of guy.
Heck yeah, so I'm a Lean Six Sigma girl.
Yeah, so I'll put it up there and I'll do the analog, either whiteboard and Post-its or my journal. And then I'll go and digitize that and clean up where we're going. And then from there, deliver those to the teams for, kind of then how do we do it? That's where having a great team comes in handy is you're the what and the why, and then they're the how.
Oh, I love that. Mm-hmm. Speaking of your team, what's one weird or maybe interesting process that you have in place that's super unique to your team and your company that's a good representation of your culture? And I know Design Pickle's got a lot, so just give me your favorite one.
I had you all the way to good representation of culture because I'm like, we got a lot of weird stuff going on behind the scenes. I think our onboarding process is always been in Trainual. And it is, I've had people come to us, for new hires, say, this is the best onboarding experience I ever had. And that first week, they go through basically a company and culture training. And one of the assignments in Trainual is to use Design Pickle to design a unique piece of artwork that's reflective of them. And so we actually have a small collection of these art pieces that people have either sent us, and they leave the company, they let us keep it. And it's all sorts of, mock music albums and mashup genres of different pickle themes.
I want to do this just for fun.
Yeah. And it's a really cool cultural piece that is functional because they're getting to learn the platform. They're getting to learn how to make requests. And then it's also really creative because we get to learn more about the new hire and what they like or what they're into. The only rule is it has to be Design Pickle themed. So, you might see, there's one, I remember the classic Nirvana album with the baby in the pool.
Yep.
It's that, but it's a little baby pickle, in the pool. We have a ton of those.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so insightful. Thanks for taking a minute to come backstage with us and join Inside the Process. Loved having you.
Thank you
Anything
so much.
else that you would share with our audience that's like a good takeaway?
No, I think as you're creating any type of, way to delegate what you do. I'm very biased by this, but I think using visuals is some of the most effective and easy ways to communicate. And I find that like when I am building out like that next thing, that next process, that next step, that whiteboard and Post-its, like being able to step back and see it and do it. So I encourage anyone who's struggling just to, get the pen and paper out and not a document, try not to do it in words, try to do it with pictures, ideas, bullets, whatever it might be.
Heck yeah, that's so cool.
All right.
Well, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks.